So what have I been up to for the last few months? Not working on this guy. Well, that's it. Not working on this guy. Just doing other stuff. So anyway, got to start working on it again just so I maintain my sanity and the progress. So this is the next thing that has to happen here. I hate to do it, but I pretty much have to. So this door fit okay before I took everything apart. Again, the lower door hinge was bad. It was sloppy, but it closed okay. The gaps were okay, everything else. Well, problem is, I don't even have the striker in right now, and the door won't fall open. I'll pull on it, and you will notice, I'll pull on it here. See, I don't know if you can even see that, but it springs down because it rubs. It's underneath this molding right there. So, and it's something I just, out of sight, out of mind, didn't think about it that much. So, but the problem is, with this trim being added on, that widens that drip rail a little bit. And apparently that was just enough, and the way the door fit to try to get all the rest of the body lines right, just too much. So what I'm gonna have to do, I've done it before on other stuff, I'm gonna take a piece of tape, lay it all the way across or make a nice straight line, easy curve on the backside, and I'm gonna grind some of the top of this door off and then re-weld it shut. So I'll end up having to paint the upper door frame inside and out. Like I said, I hate to do that on a brand new quote marks, brand new door, brand new painted door, but that's the only option I have, or I move the door down far enough where the body lines don't match. So as of right now, they're pretty much right on the money with the body line. It could maybe go up just a smidge, but at the same time, right now, the way that's wedged underneath there we go. Now it's not all the way closed. Body lines are perfect. So, and I'll repaint just the top. Brand new clear coat, never really been abused. I should be able to blend the clear, out on the pillars, buff it out. It'll never be seen, at least by the time any UV damage happens. It may be years down the road. Or the other option is I take the door handle back out, I re-clear the whole thing, which I have also thought of because I had a few other imperfections in this area which only I can see. Just one coat of clear over all of this, so there's no blend line and clear. Still haven't made up my mind exactly what I'm going to do with that part of it yet, but the risk with that is never seems to fail. Or you do something like that, then a giant bug or some other dumb thing will happen, some chunk of shit will fly out of my gun right in the middle. Well, then I got another big problem I got to deal with. So the other thing I have to kind of deal with, this gap is really tight along here, a little tighter than it should be. So, which is easy enough to fix. I have a big enough gap back here. It's a little narrow in the bottom, so I might push the whole thing back a little bit. I pretty much need to, just to make this fit a little better. Which is gonna, everything is gonna get tweaked a little bit, and I want these gaps to be perfect, but at the same time, not only just in the back of my head, but in the forefront of my head, I keep thinking, this is a 1980. This is essentially a 60s design, because this body came out in 72. Fit and finish were not of the utmost importance back then. So it's like, there's only so much you can do without like cutting the whole cab apart and starting over. And so like this, this would have been fine had I not put that trim on there. Well, I go ahead and make it fancy, and then I run into this problem. But such is life. So, the other thing that I'm working on, oh, by the way, I do have all my brake lines and fuel lines ordered. They should be here in a week. Anyway, so the other thing is the gas tank. This particular gas tank came out of a 79 regular cab long box 4-wheel drive. Same gas tank that was in there. The only difference really between the two is all the short box 2-wheel drives that I've ever seen only have 2 straps holding the tank up. All the long boxes and or club cabs always have 3. I couldn't tell you why, other than maybe they just didn't think there was enough space in there for the third one, although there is, because I just measured, but whatever. It's still a little grody on the outside, but the important thing that I did, that I found out, I don't know if this is going to show up very well. I'm going to try. See if... Oh, actually, that shows up really good in the camera, doesn't it? There we go. Sorry about that. It's actually pretty clean in there. There's a little bit of just dust and gook that's just in there. Some of that stuff is never going to come out, at least not without years of application to gas. And you see anything else in this hole? No, it's pretty much the same. Let's go over here. Let's try this one. So, yeah. So, but this tank was just completely disgusting. There was like a half-inch of goo on the bottom because the truck this thing came out of hadn't been on the road for 20 years, and it probably got parked with half a tank of gas. And that slowly just evaporated away. And I've tried several different things to clean these out over the years. I've washed them out. I've put degreaser in there. I've tried Dawn soap. I've put a few gallons of gas in there, just let them soak, kind of soften that stuff up. And that all works to a degree, but never as good as what I did with this one. Because like I say, this one, it came out clean. Obviously it was as empty as I could get it. I got all the big chunks out. I went through, all total, about 4-ish gallons of lacquer thinner. And the reason why I went through 4 is because that's what I had in my can. But I dumped a couple in, and it comes up to like maybe there or however far. And I just slosh and slosh and slosh and let it sit. And I kind of tip it on its side and slosh and let it sit. And then do the same thing. Flip it over, dump it all out, and then put some more in. And because when I tried with gas, it was coming out about as clean as it was going in for the most part. So it was as clean as it was going to get. And then I put this lacquer thinner in there, and wham, super clean. I mean, the first thing that came out was just black as tar. It just cut through the crap. Second one, cleaned a lot of junk out, not near as dark. And the third one, almost nothing. So it cleaned everything out that was going to get cleaned out. And you can see there's some undercoating on here that I don't know how picky I'm going to get about trying to pull some of that stuff off, because it's under the truck. Who cares? But like some of this stuff I'll try to, just because I can clean it up, I'll try to clean it up. So that's my big advice on how to clean a plastic tank. And I'm sure it'll probably work with a steel tank too, but I have a different method I've always used for that. I know there's another video somewhere on my channel about it, and it's essentially a giant rock tumbler. So those are the next two things that are going to happen. I'm going to get my lines, get at least the one brake line put in so I can get this thing mounted out of my way, so because it's big and awkward, and it's always just like laying in the wrong spot whenever I want to do something in the shop. So I want to get this thing in. Even though I don't have the fuel tank sending unit for it, I will, because when this is in, the back of the cab is probably right about here-ish. So I can still get at everything, no problem. I can put everything in, blah, 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 blah. Everything's fine. So, but just to get it in and get it out of my way, that'll be nice. And then, like I say, and then the door. Then after that, then I'll probably get my windows tinted and get all that kind of stuff done, so that's in there. Speaking of windows, so all my power window stuff is in there. This came out of an 85 Ram Charger. I don't know if I'm going to put power windows in here yet or not. It'd be cool to have them, but how bad do I need them? I've never had power windows in a pickup like this before, or even an 80s version. I don't know. Still debating, because I know it's not a ton of extra wiring work because I've got all that. They did kind of hack up some of the wires on that one, so I will have to... There's some of that has to be done no matter what. But I don't know yet. I just don't know yet if I'm going to put power windows in, if I want that hassle or not. Because it's a hassle, but there's also like, hey, cool, it's got power windows. And along with that, there's power locks that truck had too. Those I will probably most certainly put in, just because it's going to be super convenient. Not that I'm going to have a little button, little clicker button to get in and out, but just just as a nice thing to have, so I don't have to lean all the way over to hit the button. Sorry, didn't know what I was pointing at there. So, anyway, that is kind of the update for now as to what's happening with this and the next few steps I'm going to make. And we'll, maybe in a week or so, we'll have a video that updates the gas tank and maybe some progress on this door. And we go from there.